everybody, welcome to Package Some Sal.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Ben.
So we haven't talked about the new Avengers in a long, long time, and I want to, so we're doing it.
Sweet.
Mostly because this is just kind of like a plea to get the new Avengers back out into the zeitgeist. Because when New Avengers dropped, it was huge, a BFD, if you will, to me, because the Avengers went from being a brand that I had virtually no affiliation with whatsoever, outside of, oh look, it's the Unsellables in jackets.
Wait,
it was the
Unsellables.
90s.
Okay, so we got Spider-Woman.
No. Now they're the
These are the new
Sellables.
Avengers.
Oh.
Yeah, this is when
No,
they...
I'm talking about like Black Knight and Cersei and Captain America, who is on the cover, but he's dope now. And apparently all he was, and it's just because I'm a Philistine. The reality was, my only exposure to Captain America was the Avengers.
Right.
Where
And
he was
surrounded by lamos.
Yes! And which actually should have made him seem cooler by comparison.
But no, it drops the average.
It does, yeah. No, Captain America, if he was at an 80%, was like dropped down to a 65. And it's like, I feel bad because I go back and read some of those stories and I recognize their contributions, but I'm not wrong. Like, they're boring and they're silly and they're self-involved, and that's just me. I'm a Philistine.
I appreciate the fact that they're there.
Yeah.
But I do not like them.
Yeah, I always, because I'm a street level like Philistine who likes web slingers and daredevils, like I associate the Avengers being a group that are never available when my street level character is about to die and needs to call someone, and it's like, I should call the Avengers, but there's no time or they're not available, and so there's this ethereal thing. They're like health insurance, where it's like, I should be able to count on them, but when the chips are down, I can't. And then Brian Michael Bendis like, how about I fucking hit them with a plane? Bendis blows up the Avengers in Disassembled, which I still didn't read. Like, I remember hearing about the Avengers disassembling, and I'm like, good. About time. Fuck them. And I read it. Like, somebody I knew had a trade, and I read it, and I'm like, that was fucking cool. And at the end of it, I like felt bad. It was like my exposure to Star Trek, where I'm like, I will be dead and in the ground before I watch a single episode of that boring TV show from the 60s. But then I saw the movies and I'm like, look at these guys having fun. Oh, I like them. My only exposure to them is this one 90-minute movie, but I still feel like I watched the entire series and all the movies.
Now, did it make you go back and be like, let me watch some of the original series?
Fuck no.
No, but you did watch the other movies at least.
But I did watch all the other movies, and I've seen selected episodes of the show. I didn't go back and go like, I am in, I'm a Trekkie now, and then watch all the shows, the animated series. No, I just watched like a couple of episodes, mostly the ones that are referenced in the Futurama episode, or the ones that occasional host of the show, Jason, will show me. But that is it, and it's beyond. Like, that is the highest level of craps I will give about Star Trek.
Yeah.
But I'm like, look at these guys like having fun. Oh, I like them. I like their camaraderie. They mean something. And then I remembered like all the other people that I knew who liked Star Trek and how like affected they were by it, and that affected me. So I'm watching the end of the
I
Avengers.
felt sorry you called them like lame.
Exactly.
Stupid.
Like, yeah. Well, then I felt like an idiot, right? Because I'm like, oh, cool, more boring Star Wars. And then I'm like watching it. I'm like, I'm a dummy.
Okay, but you never had a Star Wars show where you were watching it and you're just like, all right, if they could turn this into a 90-minute movie, I'd be on board.
Right.
Yeah, but jackets.
But those jackets, yeah, once you add jackets, you have increased not only profitability, but also the genuine creative output of the book. Like, it is a better book as a result if they're wearing jackets and or pouches. It's just a proven theorem.
Yeah.
They prove, you learned that in your physics class.
Yeah.
No.
But then, at the end, when they're all sad and they're all like standing, the survivors are standing in the crater of Avengers Mansion and they're mourning the loss, and people are leaving like rats from a sinking ship. They're like,
Oh, you're like, I'm out.
I'm out. You know what? Yeah, bye. And I'm like, oh shit.
I always hated you anyway.
Right. People who are just like, I don't know why I was ever on this team, and you'll never see me on this team ever again. Yeah. Bye. And then characters just like, just raising a glass to fallen comrades and the history, and then you see like this huge collection of art that depicts the biggest and best moments of the Avengers history. And that kind of like revisionist history of the Avengers really made me feel nostalgic for a thing I never had any affinity for, like Star Trek.
And
when
then
I was
never
like,
actually existed.
and they never really existed. Then I got into New Avengers, which launched right after that. And I'm like, oh, now you're speaking my language. You got Spider-Man on the team. You got Wolverine on the team. But New Avengers it made a huge impact. And the idea, I think, we've talked about the idea, so I don't want to dwell too much on the history and the development of the New Avengers, but Bendis is like, what if they sold? Like, what if it was characters that are like popular and caused a major stir? Like at Marvel summits, he'd be like, why isn't Spider-Man in the Avengers? And that's all it took to make people go, huh! Like they lost it. They're like, okay, first of all, what are you even doing here if you're gonna ask questions like that? And secondly, let me give you a laundry list of reasons why Spider-Man will never be on the Avengers. Number one, he's a loner. It's like, oh, is that why he headlined Marvel Team Up? Where literally the premise of the book is Spider-Man teams up with a member of the Marvel Universe?
He's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's
How
friendly.
can he be friendly
he's in the neighborhood.
unless he knows people and interacts with them?
The Fantastic Four on the cover of the first fucking issue.
Yeah, but those team-ups never took, did they?
Right.
And so it's just a one-off, and
Yeah,
then
only
it
because
didn't
of,
work
like,
out.
Fuddy-duddies like you, who were like, oh, he'll never join.
Yeah, because he's a loner.
Right, yeah, but like, why? He's only a roller because you say so.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, I say so.
Yeah, and he'll be a loner until I'm dead and in the ground. And so, Bendis had his way. And
we dug some graves and we shoved those people inside kicking and screaming.
That's right. And New Avengers took off. And I was like aboard. I'm like, I'm in. Pick it up. I'm like, no. I loved it because I loved Disassembled. I loved Bendis' writing. And David Finch's art was dope AF. And I'm like, this is cool. I'm in. And it's telling me stories that are like, they have the trappings of the stories that I assume the Avengers were having, but also in a way that is palatable to someone like me, where it's characters that are larger than life, like Iron Man and Captain America, and they're like busting into rooms and they're kicking ass against Hydra, but then they're like, hey, do you ever have a problem where you're like kicking someone in the face and your underwear goes right up your ass? And I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, I kick people in the face all the time,
It's comic
and that
books
happens.
by way of Kevin Smith, and I'm like,
It's gym class.
I'm in. Like, it's relatable. Exactly. So
Okay, so your issue with the previous Avengers weren't the fact that the characters were unrelatable.
No, it was that they were unrelatable. I couldn't relate to any
But
of
not
them.
because they're unrelatable, period.
Oh no, objectively speaking, the Avengers appeals to somebody.
Yeah. It's just because, like, they weren't real.
Well, yeah, they didn't feel real to me. They didn't connect with me on any conceivable level. They did eventually, retroactively, over time, and only through the rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia. But, occasionally I'll go back and I'll read an old story like the Kree-Skrull War, and I'm like, I get it, okay.
It's like saying that Superman's a boring character until he also, like, deals with being a person and human feelings and being like, well, I still, worry about things.
Yeah, and
we're
wonder-
like, why? You're Superman. Be like, because I do.
Yeah, because I'm a person, because I am relatable. Because if I am boring, it's because of boring writers and not because of the character. Like, don't blame the characters.
Yeah.
Unless it's NFL Super Pro, in which case, like, he sucks. It's okay to hate creatively bankrupt ideas like that. But like any other character, you can elevate to some kind of distinction.
Yeah.
But yeah, so New Avengers, we did the first volume where they formed. We talked about their adventure in the Savage Land, where they fought Sauron, where they implied that there was going to be some kind of like infighting in S.H.I.E.L.D. The S.H.I.E.L.D. is rotten, and Spider-Woman is at the core. And of course, we talked about other events that are connected to this because Bendis would start a new tradition of one writer dictating what the entire fucking line is going to do for the next 5 to 10 years and still not have any editorial control whatsoever. Just, I'm writing all the main books, and so that's what the universe is going to look like. And I'm like, wow, who gave him that much power? And you know what? The reality is, who gave him that much
The
power?
fans.
The fucking people who bought the books.
Yeah.
Money gave him that power. And that's right. Like, that is right.
Money talks.
Money talks and walks. So we also did the Sentry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sentry joins the Avengers, and he might as well be a reservist Avenger because he's only in issues where they're talking about the Sentry, and then he's not on the adventures where he could easily solve the problem. Because that's what happens when you put like Superman on the Justice League.
Yeah, he'll just fix it.
He'll just fix it for you, unless Grant Morrison's writing it. But then, Sentry, of course, like when Sentry returns and everybody remembers who he is, his watchtower reappears, and it coincidentally appears and is augmented on top of the newly minted Avengers Tower, Stark Tower, really, but Avengers operate out of there. So like that's the look, the new look of the New York City skyline. And I got to tell you, reading these books at the time when they were coming out, it felt like real things were happening, like change was coming to Marvel, and now it's the yesteryear, like it's old. The idea that like the Marvel skyline, I remember growing up, the Four Freedoms Plaza was part of the New York City skyline, just a fucking 4 on top of a goddamn skyscraper. And then eventually it was the Avengers Tower, and shortly thereafter with the Sentry bullshit on top of it. And it's like, whether you like it or not, it was still neat. And when World War Hulk came in and destroyed it, and then they immediately rebuilt it because nobody was paying attention or didn't want to deal with it, it was like, that was a big deal.
Well, I mean,
when
we still
things were
want that tower.
changing. Yeah, we still want that tower. And some people don't want to do what Pac's doing.
But I already drew that.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks great, by the way. But yeah, so it felt like things were happening and things were changing. I mean, the Avengers...
They're all different. Things did change.
Yeah, things did change. This is the Avengers. And it's like, there are a couple of characters in there that keep it grounded and keep those like hardcore Avengers hopefully happy, like Iron Man and Captain America.
Yeah.
But we got some other new thing, and setting them against these old characters is kind of fun. Like watching Spider-Man interact with Captain America, watching Luke Cage influence the Avengers is really cool, especially with Bendis as Luke Cage, who's like giving the character more agency than I've seen in a while. And it's like, that's neat. Good for you guys. Way to go. And also Jessica Drew's there, and it's like, what? And it's like, oh, I see why. And it's originally because Bendis wanted to write Alias, the Jessica Jones book. It was going to be about Jessica Drew.
Right.
And Marvel's like, you can't have Jessica Drew having anal sex. And he's like, okay.
Yeah, that's where her webs come out of.
Right. It's impractical. But then he's like, all right, how about Jessica Jones?
Totally different
character.
Completely different.
And then he made up a whole new backstory. And thank God, because I like Jessica Jones a lot. I like Jessica Drew a bit.
Yeah, now he's friggin' collecting residuals on Jessica Jones stuff.
Yeah, and maybe he learned that lesson because you wouldn't be able to stop Bendis from making new characters and collecting residuals. I mean, he created Daisy Johnson in Secret War. Daisy Johnson is a major character on that S.H.I.E.L.D. show, and while it's not in syndication, I don't think, Disney Plus has it, and I'm sure Bendis got a big fat check for her being in there. That's a thing. Oh, not to mention Miles fucking Morales.
Oh, yeah.
So, exactly. I'm sorry. But yeah, so in this, we're like paying off some teases and some surprises that they suggested all the way in the beginning, like introducing Ronan. New character added to the team. Who's Ronan? Now, Ronan
Ronan's a loner.
Yeah, Ronan is new. Ronan can be anything I want. And clearly Ronan was going to be one thing and then turn into another. And now we're in a weird time where if we had done this video when I planned on doing this, probably like 5 or 6 years ago, we wouldn't be able to imagine a world in which there's going to be a literal show about that character, or have that character appear in like one of the biggest movies of all time, or be a plot point in the Hawkeye show. Back then, it was just, here's Ronan.
Here's a guy you never heard of.
Yeah, here's a complicated-looking ninja guy. Ha-ha!
You'll probably see him in this couple of issues and then never again.
Yeah, he's not going to get his own book, I'll tell you that. So, Ronan. And by the way, of course, Bendis graduated from the Quentin Tarantino School of storytelling, in which you show something and then you cut away from it in the past.
Yeah.
How did we get here? Let's go back. So right now,
At least it's not jumping around like Pulp Fiction.
No, it's not.
I'm going to tell the third part of the story, and then the first part of the story.
We're going to end it in Act 2.
And then 4.
The movie ends
and then go
in Act 2.
Oh, my God.
No, but yes, but we do have a lot of jumping around because that's what he does. We do a lot of Ultimate Spider-Man. That's just par for the course.
Yeah, let's go back as a thing.
Yeah, it is, very much. So Ronan is in Osaka, Japan. He's beating the shit out of some Yakuzas, and he is trying to get information out of the ones that are left standing, or at least conscious.
I believe it's Yakuza.
What did I say?
Yakuzas?
So then we cut to yesterday, in which Captain America is doing some recruiting. Of course, during Breakout, a bunch of characters clandestinely all coalesced and became the Avengers, at least according to Captain America, who's like, this is the Avengers. Like, it's happening all over again. And he invited Daredevil to join them because Daredevil was there. And Daredevil's like, I'm in a really weird place where my identity is public, or at least it's been outed. I'm trying to fight it in the courts, even though it would be perjury to do so.
Oh no.
The dude has dedicated his life to law. It's just like, no, we've established.
No, yes, he's dedicated his life to law, and he's still a crime fighter.
Right,
he still circumnavigates the law.
This is true. I mean, he is a lawyer after all, and we've established long ago that Matt Murdock is also a massive hypocrite. He's a Catholic and fucks all the time. And he ain't married to most of them.
Yeah, but he doesn't wear condoms, so it's okay.
Oh, thank God.
We know that thanks to Daredevil End of Days, in which he has peopled the whole Marvel Universe with little Daredevils. Right. So Cap goes to Daredevil in Central Park, or at least Matt Murdock, and he's like, hey man, and Matt's like, boy, you jackbooted Avengers don't know when to quit, do you? Like, I've told you no. And Cap's like, okay, yeah, I know, I get it. I'm not asking you to join the Avengers anymore.
I'm just saying hi.
I'm just saying, Jesus. Well, what? Steve Rogers can't walk around Central Park? I love this place. I'm from here. And Matt's like, sure.
Just making conversation.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? You're right. Anyway, you want to join the Avengers? Cap kind of brings Daredevil up to speed on the last 2 volumes in which, like, something's rotten in the state of S.H.I.E.L.D., Sentry is here. We had a bunch of adventures, at least 2 volumes worth of adventures already. We could have probably used some Daredeviling in there. Right now we're dealing with...
At least legally.
Yeah, well, that's true. Although they're insulated by Stark's immense wealth. So that helps a lot. But they
imagine
also...
a lot of things help with Stark's wealth.
That's true. But during Breakout, like, a lot of villains got, like, freed or escaped, and they're trying to, like, put the genie back in the bottle, and one of those characters that escaped or was freed was the Silver Samurai. It was a fun X-Men character that nobody writes about anymore, and it was fun to see him for a few seconds in this volume, and he's there. And it's like, hey, Silver Samurai, cool. Hey, wow, like, we're gonna do some stuff. Like, the Avengers never fought Silver Samurai. Like, they don't fight X-Men villains. Like, it's usually pretty, like, you know, everyone stays in their house.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's like if Magneto was there and the Avengers were like, we're gonna take you down. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's
you
volume
can't
4.
Fight me.
That's literally volume 4. They fight Magneto.
The next one?
The next one.
Bendis is basically saying, like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm going to fix it. I'm
Yeah.
going to mix it all up
That's
like
right.
it would be
Yes.
in real life.
Yeah, but does Magneto be like, this is mutant oppression?
No, he does not cry foul. But he is not in his right mind in that story.
Okay.
But yeah, that story
That is literally the next one.
It isn't great, and I don't know if I want to talk about it. We got to go to Japan. You know Japan. You fought ninjas and shit. And Daredevil's like, Wolverine also knows Japan, probably better than me. And he's like, yeah, but I don't like Wolverine.
I need
Wolverine's
someone
like a
stable.
psychopath.
Yeah, Wolverine will go in and stab everybody. I need like a ninja to infiltrate. He's like, Wolverine's a ninja. He's like, no. No, I want you. And then I'm sure
I need a blind ninja, okay?
Yeah, I need a person I trust.
I need a ninja who has blunt weapons.
Right. Basically, Matt is just like constantly, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it. And Cap's like, oh my God, do you know anybody who can do it then? Like, at least give me a recommendation. And Matt's like,
some ninjas. How many ninjas do you know?
right. And Matt's like, I think I may know somebody.
I know a lot of ninjas.
right.
Yeah.
So then enter Ronan.
Snake Eyes.
Right. Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe.
Exactly.
Which Marvel did publish, but not at the time of this
I was
book.
going to say Iron Fist, but no.
No, yeah, Iron Fist will join the new Avengers, but not until after it's worn out its welcome.
Night Thrasher? He dresses like a ninja.
He does? Yeah, but Bendis doesn't remember Night Thrasher. So now we're in Japan, and we cut back. We're literally a few minutes before the opening of the book. Like, you know,
Yep.
we were now, and then we went to yesterday, and now we're a few seconds from now.
Oh, that does suck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when will
that's-
then be now?
Soon.
So Ronan infiltrates this like compound where Silver Samurai is. Like it's his compound. It's like it's his alter ego's estate. It's like where he lives.
Oh, okay, so like
Samurais?
Silver
Yes,
Samurai
Silver
has
So when
like
he was
an alter ego.
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
was put in jail, that alter ego didn't lose possession of his
Absolutely
estates
not,
and crap.
because Harada was not detained legally. He was arrested by S.H.I.E.L.D. and put into like a secret prison.
So Japan's like, no, he's not in real jail. We're leaving all his stuff alone.
Yes.
Nobody can take
He has
that.
people that like run it. So basically, for all they know, Harada's just in there and doesn't come outside very often.
Or he's on holiday.
Exactly. So then we cut back to yesterday and the
Oh,
conversation
goddamn
between
it.
Cap and Matt Murdock.
Oh my God. Yeah, because it was getting boring, just people talking. We got to do some ninja stuff, and then we can go back to that.
Then we go back to the conversation.
Yeah,
Because
do some ninja stuff by looking at Japan, seeing Ronan in
Sneaking around.
2 panels.
Yeah, but like, let me tell you something. David Finch does a really good job of depicting everything in this book, and it's really cool looking. Like,
It does look good.
It is really gorgeous, and it really like takes advantage of like fucking with the format, which is something that Marvel was very interested in doing back in like 2005. So it's like, how about that? Matt explains that like his book is very complicated, which is thanks to Bendis originally. But you know, my life sucks. If I were Daredevil and I joined the new Avengers, your brand would be tarnished by mine. I can't help you. And then Cap goes, you know, there was a time when I stopped being Captain America, but I didn't stop doing the right thing, and I went as Nomad. It's not a very popular period of my history, but
It did happen.
But I did
A lot of
do
people
that,
think Nomad sucks, but
you know,
he existed.
he did exist, and someone else took up the mantle. So like, there is a precedent for Nomad. I'm not asking you to be Nomad.
That's taken.
Well, that's taken, and also like I think that if you became Nomad, that would hurt your brand. But like, listen, my point is there's a precedent set for heroes pretending to be other heroes
All I'm saying is you don't have to be Daredevil.
to do this job.
Right.
And Matt's like, whoa.
I could be the devil who dares. Ah, that sucks.
Yeah, I could be Ronan.
Or Ronan. Right, like, oh, I might know somebody.
Somebody who is Ronan. Ronan infiltrates the compound. He sees Harada being presented with new Silver Samurai.
He
outfits.
sees this?
Yeah.
Oh.
So is it Daredevil?
Or he sees it with sonar.
right, and it's like, okay. So I guess we could address the elephant in the room. Ronan was going to be Daredevil, but then they changed their minds, and so it's not Daredevil at the end of this book.
Okay.
It is clearly set up to be Daredevil, and it was definitely going to be Daredevil. And there is some conjecture. I remember
If
when
you read this book and it's not Daredevil, it's like, then why is it structured like this?
exactly. And it's like, because I already wrote those pages, and I don't want to change them.
Right.
Because that was the plan until I got told no.
I am no. He
Someone told Bendis no.
didn't- Nobody told Bendis no.
he just changed his
He just
fucking
changed
mind.
his fucking mind. No, and that's the thing. That's the question. And I think like Bendis had the clout to be able to go, Daredevil's in the book. He's Ronan. End of story. But he didn't. And maybe he was like trying to play ball. Who knows what his like rationale was? But I do know that back in 2005, it was Daredevil, and then there was a heel turn, and it's not anymore. But over time,
Was it the fans going, hey, is this Daredevil?
Yeah.
No! How dare you guess my book?
And like I promise you, in the almost 20 years since this book came out, now when people ask about it, they go, it's not because the fans guessed it was Daredevil out of the gate. Like now they vehemently deny it. But back in the day, I remember them only sort of denying it. Like them going, I don't know, who knows? You know, just whatever. Being very cheeky about it. But them going, a lot of people like to think that it's because we buckled to peer pressure. And it's like, oh yeah, no. Comic books don't have a precedent for that. It's not like Armageddon 2001 was completely upended and ruined as a result of the fucking fans guessing who it was. Actually, that was thanks to a leak. But even still, that being said, it's definitely structured to be Daredevil.
Same answer.
Yeah.
But it's not. So so Ronan sees Harada get his new Silver Samurai outfit, and so he's like, oh shit, like things are going down. Then we got back to the conversation from yesterday, and
Getting real tired of this bouncing.
Matt addresses that he does know somebody. So I think I think the reason why we got the third cutback
Right.
is because that's like add that in there.
Yeah,
To establish maybe there is somebody.
Right.
Or maybe it was originally in the story to establish like plausible deniability for Matt, where it's like, oh, I think I know somebody, and that somebody is me, but in a different costume, and I'll just act like an asshole, which is in keeping with Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time when Daredevil faked his own death and then pretended to be his twin brother, Mike Murdock, and put on a ridiculous 90s armor suit and acted like an asshole to everybody who was like, I know you're Matt. And he's like, Matt Murdock's dead. Bury him. And it's like, Matt.
I've become someone new.
Yeah. And then
I've become more than just a Matt Murdock.
I've become a Mike.
Murdock.
What?
It's next in the alphabet.
Yeah.
I didn't want to use Melvin.
Well, it's like, it's your twin brother. That's the best you got.
That's so
At
lame.
least Tony pretends to be a
Yeah,
bodyguard.
that's soap opera level of lame.
Yeah. And then it gets even worse because then they brought Mike into reality.
Oh, God.
And then in Zdarsky's Daredevil run, which is to say this happened like a year or two ago, he did a book, an annual called One More Day, in which Mike Murdock, Matt Murdock's fake not real version of his twin brother, who is an asshole, steals the Norn stones from the Hood and then wishes that he was always real. He Pinocchios himself. And so he retcons himself into existence and changes reality.
Oh my god.
So that Mike always was Matt's twin brother.
What?
And the only one who remembers that Mike was ever fake is Mike.
Okay, that is
So
that
he
is
remembers
insane.
being Matt?
Because
Mike knows he was fake.
Mike was conjured into existence.
Oh.
No, Mike was originally an alter ego that Matt used.
Oh,
But then
he was
through
made
comic
manifest.
books, Mike became real and then was like, I exist, but like only for the grace of magic.
Right. I want to be more real.
I want to have a social security number. And so he
I want to
wishes,
have always been real.
Yeah, so he uses Norn stones and now like Matt remembers Mike.
And
like,
so does everyone else.
everyone
apparently.
else. Like as far as reality is concerned, there always was a twin brother named Mike Murdoch.
Oh, and Mike Murdoch's best friend is Boggy Nelson.
Actually, Mike Murdoch's best friend is Wilson Fisk's illegitimate son.
We're not here to talk
But we're not
about
here talking
Mike.
about Butch.
Oh,
or
Jesus
Mike.
Christ.
So Harada gets his Silver Samurai outfit and he's looking at it like, oh man, it's gonna be so great when I Silver Samurai out. And then Madame Viper, now head of Hydra, shows up and she's like, hello, and she makes out with him. It's like, oh shit.
And poisons him and kills him.
Nope.
Oh.
And it's like, oh shit. Silver Samurai and Hydra are joining forces. OMFG.
Well, he's just one guy.
Yeah, but like he also controls like cartels and Yakuza themselves.
Okay.
So we cut back to yesterday, where Cap is meeting with this mystery person that Matt Murdock recommended for the mission, where Cap is basically like, I don't really know you. You're kind of a recent creation. Bendis invented you too. I don't know what you're all about, but I hear that you got a sketchy past. You're kind of connected to the Kingpin. Anyway, don't let us down. Good luck. Don't and try not to kill anybody.
Was this supposed to be Matt in a wig?
Right. No, I think that this is another retcon, or at the very least, like by this point, they're like, it's not Matt. Like we know it's not Matt anymore.
Now it's some chick.
Now it's some chick.
I would love it if it was just Matt in a wig.
Right.
Like
And Cap's just talking to him, like
looking like Willem Dafoe in Boondock Saints.
yes.
And you're just like, you are clearly Willem Dafoe.
You are not convincing anybody.
Okay, well, it's obvious who it is now.
Yeah, it's Echo.
Echo?
Yeah, you thought it was Electro.
I was gonna say Electro, what?
Nope, it's Echo.
What?
Yeah, that's the big reveal at the end of the book. But,
Oh.
like, it's Echo, the recent Daredevil creation that is deaf and half Native American and has her own checkered past.
Yeah, from, I know, from...
The Hawkeye show. Yes,
Okay.
yes, which is like, what?
Where Hawkeye's Ronin.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
In this, she's
She's Ronin. But in the comics, eventually Hawkeye will become Ronin too.
Oh, okay.
Does he like dethrone Echo as Ronin?
No, it's actually quite sad because Ronin is Echo. But then eventually they're like, the Ronin thing sucks. How about Echo's on the New Avengers? So then Echo's just on the New Avengers. And then they have an event, I believe it's Siege, and after the everything falls apart, everybody's like, let's go meet at the mansion! And Echo's deaf and she misses the invite. And so they form a New Avengers and she's not on it because she didn't hear them.
What? That's so lame.
I know.
What?
And then Bendis like remembers that he originally had Echo and they never addressed it. So then Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are interviewing lesser superheroes to be nannies for their baby. And there's a whole like sequence of characters that are interviewing for the job. And one of them is Echo, who's like, I used to be on this fucking team. And that's the only time you ever see Echo near the New Avengers again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, when
That's so
everyone says,
demeaning.
hey,
Completely!
let's go meet up, and then Echo isn't there,
Someone should call her.
you find her.
You text the person. Nope.
Yeah, they're Avengers. They have communication cards.
They do.
Boop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're audio only. She wouldn't be able to hear it. So.
Right, exactly. Also, this is like a new time for the Avengers. Like, they don't have those communication cards anymore. Well, now they have phones.
Right. So they just didn't want Echo on the team anymore and pretended that they forgot that she was
Yes.
deaf.
Hey, where? I can imagine Spider-Man. Where's Echo? And they're like, oh, I don't know. You know, we'll call her. I have her number. I'll give her a text.
I'll call her. I'm leader of the team. I'll call her.
Okay, sorry. Jesus.
You don't call her. I call her.
All right. I'm sorry.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Jesus.
We're talking about how we have one more slot open for the team.
Oh yeah.
How
Weird.
about Wolverine? We have Wolverine. No, the other Wolverine, the girl Wolverine. Ronan encounters some ninjas. They're hand ninjas. What?
Oh.
But that's
Now it's the hand.
Now there's the hand.
That's different than either
Is
Hydra or
Silver Samurai.
Silver Samurai, that's
or
right.
the Yakuza.
Yeah.
all the ninjas are teaming up.
Yeah,
Except
all this
Hydra's
stuff
not
except
in
for Hydra.
ninjas.
Yeah, but it's like things are getting
okay.
cross-pollinated.
Right.
So Ronan ditches those ninjas and eventually gives them the slip and ends up in the Osaka, Japan Stark Tower.
Oh
like
yeah,
Stark-
because he started that company
Yeah,
with
with
that
Fujikawa.
person. Yeah.
So, yeah, but I don't think Bendis remembers that. I think he's just like, well,
Stark would
naturally
have a
Stark would have a tower in Japan.
You know when he wants to go there.
Yeah. So Ronan ends up there, and on the veranda are the new Avengers. Like,
Huh.
this all happened with the Avengers. Like, they all went to Japan, and they sent Ronan ahead to scout out and get information for them. Cap didn't tell the new Avengers about Ronan. So Luke Cage is like, Cap, who is this? So Ronan apologizes for failing them. And Luke is like, what do you mean? What do you mean, like, failed us? You're here. And then some ninja stars start flying at them because they were not lost. And Ronan takes a whole bunch of shurikens in the back.
Oh, jeez.
And they are now inundated with hand ninjas. So, oops. And I like it because,
Why is
like,
Cap not there to explain?
Cap is there.
Oh.
He just didn't.
Let me see where this goes.
You guys are on a need-to-know basis.
I wanna
You
see how
don't
the
need to
team
know.
Handles this.
Damn right.
We're in
confusing
Japan
situation.
and we're fighting Silver Samurai, Hydra, and the Foot.
Yeah. The foot.
I'm sorry, the hand.
They are. I mean, they're a template for the foot.
I want
But,
to see if these teammates of mine, when presented with a new masked person they don't know, just fight them randomly,
Right.
or if they wait and talk and actually have a conversation.
Yeah,
and-
that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's an interesting lesson that I know Bendis didn't think.
Yeah, they're
of.
waiting for the Spidey litmus test.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do we fight or
Does his spider sense go off?
Is this a versus book or is this
Or
a
is it
team up
team-up
book?
book?
What is
Yeah.
this?
I don't know. What does it say above?
Yeah.
Oh, it says New Avengers.
Right. Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Could be either one.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like interplay between Viper and Harada in which like his own people are like, you can't trust Madame Viper, and the hand, this is dirty, this isn't gonna work for you. Like, we just wanted to get you back to Japan because you shouldn't be there, but blah blah blah. And Viper's like, we need to work together. Like, this is all gonna happen. Like, because we need to make this work. And she tries to kiss him again, and he's like, get away from me. Like, stop it. Like, stop making out with me.
Kiss me once.
Yeah.
Fool on me. Kiss me twice. Fool. It's.
You can't get fooled again.
You can't fool me again.
You can't kiss me again. So she's like, come on. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. Like,
Yeah.
And then it's revealed like Harada's like, I just got picked up. Like, I was arrested without my like understanding of why. I was not read my rights. I went to jail for a while. Then there was a big explosion. I got captured. I got brought back to my house. Then they're having this big ceremony with my outfits and my swords and shit. Then the green chick shows up, starts making out with me. No, I will not make out with you.
I don't even know you.
You're talking about dead hand ninjas and crap.
I'm trying to learn about what's going on with my state.
Exactly.
Yeah, and kissing me is not an explanation or an argument.
Well, it usually works.
It usually shuts people up. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
Well, if you're a dude,
yeah.
it shuts you up.
Exactly. So then one of the ninjas shows up. They're like, the Avengers are, the heroes are here. They don't know they're the Avengers yet. Nobody's really said like, we're the new Avengers. But that's not coming yet. But the ninjas like, the heroes are coming. And they're like, what heroes? Oh shit! Oh shit! Like, you said it was fine. And then we see, they're inundated by the new Avengers are inundated by ninjas.
Yeah.
I love Spider-Woman goes, does anybody here speak Japanese? Because they're yelling in some kind of language, and I don't know. And it's like, okay, Jessica Drew, you are a Hydra agent and a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. You're a super spy. You should speak Japanese.
Where's Wolverine?
I learned Chinese. There's more people there.
Wolverine has not yet joined the new Avengers. He
Oh.
has joined, but he's not on it yet.
I
Like,
was gonna say he's on the cover of this book.
oh yeah, no, that's a straight up lie. That's why the book's called Secrets and Lies. The secret
Starting
is
with the cover.
what's happening in this book, and the lie is Wolverine's in it. But well, because when Wolverine had been clandestinely at the Savage Land when the Avengers were kidnapped and brought to the Savage Land in the first adventure. Or their second adventure.
Right. So he was there.
He happened to be there. And Iron Man's like, we could use a straight up murderer that we can blame everything on the team. And Captain America's
someone
like,
who will get things done.
yeah, and Cap's like, I don't like Wolverine at all. And I say no. And Iron Man's like, well, I own the building, so I say yes. And
All I'm saying is I already gave him a key card.
right, I already gave him an ID
And
card.
that's how
Fuck, that's
Civil War
binding!
started.
And that's what started the Civil War. It's like the assassination of Patrick Ferdinand. It's just like, it's one inciting incident that causes a major thing. That's when Cap's like, I don't know if I can trust this Tony Stark.
Fucking guy.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he makes bad decisions.
Yeah. So they get, they attack. They're attacked by ninjas. Iron Man just grabs Jarvis and he just takes him away. He's like, I'm not getting you killed by ninjas.
Why did he bring him?
We need a butler. Somebody's got to serve us fucking sandwiches and shit. I mean, come
On
on.
our way to
You
the
have
evil
a tower in
hideout.
Japan. You don't have staff.
Yeah, you don't have a Japanese butler or thousands of them.
What did he think was going to happen when he got there? They were just going to chat?
Well, we figured like Ronan would get the intel, we'd go get it, and then go kick the shit out of them. That's what we do usually.
Yeah, but you brought Jarvis to kick the shit out of people.
No, he stays at the house. They came to my house. I didn't expect them
Oh,
to show up.
I thought the Avengers went to...
No, the Avengers are at Stark Tower in Japan, and Ronan brought the ninjas by accident. Like, Nonan's like,
Oh, we cut back.
oh yeah, no, we're just
God
cut
damn
back
it.
and forth.
Because last time I saw the Avengers, a page ago, they were at the mansion of the fucking
Harada,
Silver
I know.
Samurai. Ugh.
Yes.
All right. Fucking Bendis.
The sequence in which Harada and Madame Viper talk is just like,
Like, I don't need this.
it's like half baked because like Bendis is like still figuring it out because like we're leading towards something, but nobody knows what,
Right.
and we don't know who.
Yeah, but Bendis knows what.
He's got to fill some pages.
Well, that's true, but like, no, Bendis is leaning towards secret invasion, and it's
Right.
like no, all the organization's been infiltrated by Skrulls, and he's like
Right.
still playing up the secret invasion thing, but he hasn't even shown his secret invasion hand yet, and so all we know is like, bad guys hired Electro to take out the prison, and what's going on. Shield is killing people, and Black Widow, the blonde one's involved. Like, what's happening? And then it's like, oh, all this shit is all being fucked around with by Skrulls.
Right.
So it's like,
So which one of these people's a Skrull?
Madame Viper's the Skrull, not just because she's green, but because she's like, because Harada's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. She's like, oh, I know what's going on, and we need you involved. And it's like, I'm guessing that the Skrulls are like making their play, where it's like, we need to get power players into a room with more than 2 Skrulls, so we can knock them out, bring them into a spaceship, and then replace them with a Skrull.
Right.
This is when 2 Skrulls are hitting on each other, and there's like, oh, I'm gonna make you a Skrull, and it's like, wait, I'm a Skrull. I was gonna make you a Skrull.
Oh, damn it! How many times this happened?
Is anybody here not a Skrull?
I am.
All right, that guy's gonna get turned into a Skrull.
So
Out of like 50 people.
exactly. So back at the Avengers, they're having it's great because like it's a small balcony, and it's just wave after wave of ninjas just piling on them. So it's just like people are spilling out, and like Luke Cage just gets knocked off the building, and he lands because he's got unbreakable skin. So he just lands on the ground, and he's like, ah, damn it, and like rips his shirt. And I love it because he keeps like. He always loses his shirt in every fight. But there's a great sequence, and it's the sequence that got Tiffany into regular monthly Marvel. 1602 got her into comics, but like it was this sequence in it where Luke Cage is in the elevator just waiting to get back to the fight, and Ain't Nothing Gonna Break My Stride is playing in the elevator, and he's just like getting ready. Like as the doors open, he's like, ah! Just jumps out of the elevator. He's like, I'm back.
Nice.
I don't care who I'm punching someone.
Yeah, Spider-Man's like, you didn't bring the X-Men with you, did you? Because we could use more people.
And they have a lot.
Yeah.
So Jarvis was there because we needed to get Iron Man away for a minute because Iron Man would have more easily defeated these hand ninjas.
That's correct.
with
And
some
why
lasers
isn't
and
the
stuff.
Sentry there?
Because they
he's-
didn't invite him.
Yeah, he only hangs out with them sometimes.
Because he's unstable, and we don't want to like. He's our like just-in-case card. These are ninjas.
Yeah, we should be able to handle a few
We're the
ninjas.
freaking new Avengers. We should be able to beat ninjas.
Yeah.
And when the hand ninjas explain to Harada and Madame Viper that like they engage the like heroes, and she's like, "Who told you to do that? Like, come back!" So that's why they bail. Like they all just leave.
Right.
I mean, we can, but like we've kind of already started attacking.
Yeah.
Like a flock of ninjas.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, it's evocative of the Frank Miller Wolverine run. And so Ronan's like, hey, sorry, that might have been my fault. Anyway, and Luke Cage is like, who are you? Explain who you are. Tell us what's going on. And they're like, sorry, that was my fault. Like, I'm going to dodge the question and move on. And
Could we address the fact that I've been stabbed by 15 shuriken?
right? Because that's well.
Yeah,
of course,
but I got
what-
heal
what
factor,
we
that's
don't
all good.
know is that it's drawn as a man because we drew Daredevil in there. But now that it's Echo, she's wearing a man suit. Like, she's wearing armor underneath the suit to make her look like a dude,
Yeah.
and that's thick enough to take the shurikens.
Okay. I mean, that just
Okay.
plausible that you'd wear armor.
yeah.
Anyway, even if you're not
but
trying to
she,
look like a
got,
man.
Like, she got like 3 of them like in her back, you
Yeah.
know? And it's like, okay. That also explains why you're looking at a man,
Right.
but there's a woman inside who is not built like a man.
Right.
So, everyone's like taking inventory, and then Spider-Man notices that Spider-Woman's gone. Like, what the fuck? Spider-Woman starts flying out, and she is alone, and she goes to Harada's compound, and she meets up with Madame Viper.
Oh, boy.
And Madame Viper's like, hey,
Oh, they're gonna have like a talk.
Yes.
They're like, look,
a parlay. if you
enough
will.
of the idiots punching each other. Let's just hash this
Well,
out.
I would be very suspicious of this, and you should be, because Madame Viper, of course, in charge, or at least involved with Hydra. Jessica Drew's like, hey, what are you guys doing here? Like, what's going on here? Revealing that Jessica Drew is involved in some way with Hydra.
Oof.
And she's like, hey, shut up. Like, you don't move unless I say so. Like, you're one of my people. And we want you on the Avengers. When I need you to do something, you do it, okay? Now, I need you to shoot me with your venom blasts, and you need to personally cuff me so that I can escape, because your Avengers are coming. She's like, what? And then the Avengers Quinjet starts floating over, and she's like, bzzzt. So she zaps Madame Viper,
Okay.
and the Avengers are like, hey, what's up with you leaving? And she's like, oh, I know her personally, and I don't like her, and I really just wanted to get some aggression out on him. And Cap's like, she just stood there and let you shoot her like that? She's like, what do you mean? He's like, that's what I saw. She's like, hamana, hamana. He's like, we'll have a conversation when we get back.
Is
After we fight
Jessica
all these ninjas.
Drew a Skrull too?
Jessica Drew is the Skrull. Jessica Drew is Varanki, the queen of the Skrull Empire.
So why was Madame Hydra being like, whoa, you listen to me?
Because Bendis
At this
doesn't know
point,
that yet.
you think that she's Hydra and Jessica Drew is also Hydra.
Yes.
But in fact, they're both Skrulls.
Right.
Yeah, but Jessica Drew is the high-ranking Skrull, apparently.
Yeah, but she's a lower-ranking Hydra.
Right.
Maybe if we're just playing along, then making everything fit,
Sure.
because the Skrulls' subterfuge is that they are Hydra.
Yes.
Therefore, they must maintain the illusion that Jessica Drew is Hydra working for Viper.
Here's the thing.
For
We are-
anyone who's watching.
Bendis is going to establish in this volume Jessica Drew's double agent status as a member of S.H.I.E.L.D., a member of Hydra, a member of the Avengers, so triple agent, but S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
and Hydra. And that is the new status quo, and how Jessica Drew gets her powers back, because she lost them before she was reestablished in the New Avengers. And so there's a lot of retconning going on, already establishing her as the double agent member of the Avengers.
Right.
And then he's like, oh, also, she's the queen of the Skrull Empire. I'm like, no, you did not know that when you wrote this, you liar. He's like, I guarantee he's like, wouldn't it be fucked up though? It's like she's a quadruple. It's like, oh my god. But in this, you have to assume when you're reading this, you read this in a vacuum. Read this where it's like, oh shit, she's working for Hydra.
Yeah.
Because that's enough.
Yeah. That would be enough to
Enough
just be
layers.
like, what?
Yeah.
What?
So the Avengers collect Madame Viper, and they're leaving. And they're like, wait, wasn't there a Silver Samurai character in this book? And then we turn the page, and there's a double page splash of Harada in his Silver Samurai. There's a lot of silver characters in the Marvel Universe.
Silver Sable shows up too.
Silver Sable, Silver Mane, Silver Fox. So Harada reveals himself in his Silver Samurai outfit, which is admittedly a pretty dope double page splash of him, ready to fight. Oh shit. And then instead of that, in typical Bendis fashion, everybody just yells at each other.
Well, I can't start off the next book with a fight. I gotta do the fight at the end of the book.
Yeah.
At least the middle.
If there's going to be one, which of course there is not. So,
Oh my god.
Captain America's like, hey,
Hey!
hey. He's like, put his finger in Harada's face, like, hey, you were arrested. Like,
Right.
tell your ninjas to go away. And Harada's like, I was arrested without cause. Like, I'm on native soil. Like, you wanna start extradition.
You got to go
Right.
through my country.
You gotta go
Yeah.
through channels, man. And there's like this other dude that's part of it that's like, hey, who's trying to push Harada to be like this new leader and to be a bad. He's like, hey, like you fucking don't get your bearings, don't ask any questions, just lead, like kill the Avengers, like, do your
Right.
thing. And he's like, why? Why is everybody pushing me around?
Also, don't tell me what to do. I'm Silver Samurai.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. And then the hand ninjas show up, and it's all a free-for-all. Until Iron Man just blasts all the ninjas with a crazy huge photon blast.
And kills them.
He wrecks them. He
stuns them.
He stuns them. The hand ninjas are already dead, so it's okay if they die. Like, they're zombie ninjas.
He calls it a concussion blast.
Yes. Now, concussive blasts are very ubiquitous in the Marvel
Yeah.
universe. Like, everybody's got them.
No,
You know-
it wasn't a blast of energy. It was a concussive blast. It's fine.
Yeah.
I just gave them all concussions.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they're all
Well,
asleep
then they all
now,
need
which
to
is
go
really
to the
bad.
hospital right now.
That could cause brain damage. How many times have you concussed these people?
Oh, countless.
Like 4 or 5 times. Like, they're dead. Or at the very least, they have brain damage.
Yeah.
I like that, we got to throw in a Spider-Man quip in here once in a while, because, like, characters
Spider-Man's in the book?
Well, yes, and characters have to, like, announce what they're doing, like, Iron Man's like, I'm doing environmental readings. And Spider-Man goes, I'm pooping in my tights. Because this is all very
It's
overwhelming.
a little bit much for Spider-Man.
It's a lot for me right now.
Maybe he got hit so hard with a concussive blast.
That I
Knocked the poop out
evacuated
of
my
him.
bowels. Could be. Yeah.
Okay.
So Silver Samurai's like, all right, well, that was messed up and weird. Listen, you guys can go. It's cool. And then Luke Cage punches him in the face. And Cap's like, whoa, what are you doing, Luke? He's like, this guy's full of shit. Everybody here is full of shit. This is fucked up. Like, no, I don't
he
like.
broke out of jail.
No.
Take him to jail.
No. Luke Cage has been wrongfully arrested himself.
Oh,
No,
okay.
he is like, this is fucked up. Like, what is even happening in this book? Like, there's Madam Viper.
This is super weird.
This is super weird.
This is a super weird book we're in.
Everyone's acting like nobody knows what's going on, and like we're dealing with like criminal organizations here. Someone's not telling the truth. And so the Avengers like tell Luke to like chill out, and they're like, I guess he's right. I guess we'll just leave.
Right. I mean,
Looks like that's not what I said. I said we have to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, so they leave.
there haven't really been any crimes. I mean, those ninjas did attack Stark Tower, but you just knocked them all out, so that's
Yeah.
been taken
And-
care of.
Exactly.
They threw Shuriken at Ronan.
Ronan, but who the
true.
fuck's that anyway?
Yeah.
Nobody knows who that is, except for Captain America.
And hand ninjas are dead, as you already pointed out. So there's nothing to really. There's nothing for it.
Exactly. Like just whatever.
Yeah.
And the only thing the Silver Samurai wants is like you should leave her here, like Madam Viper here. She's fucking around in my country. Like we'll deal with her. And Jessica Drew's like, I'm a SHIELD agent. I have jurisdiction over you. Pass.
Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen. So they leave, and they're in the Quinjet, and they're going, and they're just talking about how weird that was. And Silver Samurai like did a whole press conference where he's like explaining that he was wrongfully arrested. The American government is involved. The Avengers showed up and fucked up my compound. Like it's all crabbed, and everyone's like, "That's great. This is very good for us." Because also Nick Fury's gone because he wrongfully invaded Latveria, a sovereign nation, in a book called Secret War, which is also written by Bendis. And so he got ousted, and Maria Hill, another character created by Bendis, takes over SHIELD, and she doesn't like the Avengers.
Oh.
So like
because they don't.
So she has
work
it out
under
for them?
S.H.I.E.L.D..
exactly.
She has it out for them or something?
Yeah, she got a problem with them.
She's certainly not going to help them.
No.
When they create a publicity nightmare.
Exactly.
That's why we need Matt. Matt, you're our lawyer. He's like, yeah, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah.
I'm not a PR person.
Exactly. But I like Spider-Man talking to Ronan. He's like, "Hi, I'm the Amazing Spider-Man. Have we met yet? What's going on? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello? Look at me. Look at me talking to you.
Yeah.
Can't you hear me talking to you?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't because you can't read my lips because I'm in a mask.
That's right.
Duh.
That's the fun little like, oh, okay. We don't know that at the time while we're reading this, but yeah, it's
Except
fun.
Ronan still says Captain America invited me.
Because Luke Cage asked, "Who are you?"
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
He
It
thought of
was,
everything.
it was on the
Pays
curved
to
part of the
read.
page I couldn't see. Oh, yeah, it pays to read when you're hiding it.
Hey, look, the
Set
book
this
is
up.
hiding it. So they're flying, of course, like from Japan back to New York. So it's like a long flight. So people are like taking naps. Meanwhile, Viper like silently gives Jessica Drew the order to let her go, and so Drew like hits the emergency override and like basically pops a door open on the Quinjet, which causes a huge problem, and Madam Viper gets like sucked
God.
out.
Oh yeah, it releases cabin pressure, and then the oxygen masks drop.
Yeah.
But be sure to put yours on before you help anybody else.
That's right. Because even though the bag does not inflate,
Oxygen may be
Oxygen
flowing
is
through
flowing, Yeah.
so, but Captain America didn't have a seatbelt on, so he also gets sucked out.
Oops. He can't fly.
No, and Drew is like,
And he doesn't have a shield.
No, and Drew's like, oh fuck! So she jumps out of the Quinjet and tries to get him.
Yeah.
And does this pretty fun maneuver where she like catches him with her legs, and she's just like, come on! Because like she doesn't normally fly. She doesn't fly like
Right.
Superman. Like, she
glides,
glides.
yeah.
So she's like, come on! And, she's like, I would never forgive myself if my like double life killed Captain America.
Right.
So she like grabs Cap and she's like, come on! She doesn't want to hit the water, and then Iron Man flies in and catches both of them, brings them in.
Yeah. And she goes, "You're flying." She's like, "I'm just following with style."
So how's she gonna explain this?
Just gonna have to explain to Captain America. It's great. They're like, what the fuck happened? Everyone's like, I don't know. And
Oh, that hatch just opened for no reason.
well, they're like, I guess Madam Hydra must have like opened the hatch. Like she must have freed herself. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and pressed the hatch button that wasn't near where she was.
Well, Spider-Man goes, didn't we frisk her? And Iron Man's like, yes.
No, I frisked her a lot.
Yeah. But
Enough to get sued.
great. So Cap is like looks at her like, just doing it.
I'm not gonna bring this up yet.
something's
Okay,
up.
the fact that there's a new team member, everyone would think it's Ronan.
Right. Well, no one thinks it's Ronan. They don't care. They're just like, I don't
I
know.
think it's unrelated.
Yeah. It's unrelated.
Okay.
So Ronan explains, Elektra's running the hand now, so maybe Elektra's involved, which is peppering in seeds of secret invasion because, of course, Elektra is also a Skrull. But
Mary Jane gives Spider-Man a hug.
yeah, well,
That
'cause-
gives away who he is.
yeah, well,
But they all know. You just said they all know.
they all know except for Ronan.
So
Exactly.
That's true, Ronan.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that because at this point, Mary Jane and Aunt May are living at Avengers Tower. But yeah, so what's it called? Oh, so when Iron Man flew out of the ship, who was flying the Quinjet? It was Ronan. And they're like, how do you know how to fly a Quinjet? They're really complicated machines. And Ronan explains, like, part of my power set is that if I watch you do something, I can do it myself. And they're like, oh, well, then who the hell are you? And so Ronan takes off their mask and reveals they're Maya Lopez, a.k.a. Echo. And they're like, I don't know who the fuck that is. So now Echo's on the team.
Is that part for power set?
Sure. Dennis invented her, so it is now.
I thought that was a lie because it's like I actually have flown one before.
Right. Nope.
Yeah, I've
I
got 3,000 hours logged in Microsoft
Flight
Flight
Simulator.
Simulator.
So then,
Yeah, it's not implausible because you could fly a fucking Halo dropship in Microsoft Flight Simulator,
true.
so they could have a Quinjet.
yeah. Really, you can? Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, but only later.
So? So Jessica Drew is like eating cereal, and then Captain America walks in and he goes, so who are you working for real? And she's like, oh! And then the next issue is the big like retcon of her like history, which is the fuck.
Which is not even accurate because actually she's a fucking Skrull, but
Yes!
Yeah,
This is my fake retcon.
that's right. And but the fake retcon, which was the real retcon, is that she used to work for Hydra originally. She then was approached by this like dick who is like an agent for Hydra, who basically brings her back in and promises that they'll like give her powers back if she works for Hydra. So this dude from Hydra invites Jessica Drew to rejoin Hydra. We'll give you your powers back. If you don't accept the job, we'll kill you. Because you don't have powers anyway, so you'll die.
Yeah, it's either die or get your powers back and be with us.
Yeah, right, exactly. So she goes to Fury, and Fury's like, do it. If they can give you your powers back, you just fucking take it, because being super's awesome. And then you'll
Also,
report
I
to
could
me.
use you.
Right, and
yeah.
then you'll report
you'll
to me.
just told me, so I'll know. So you'll be like a secret double agent for me.
Exactly. You'll give them a little bit of information that makes you like plausible, but not enough to like ruin us. And you'll tell me
why don't
what
you get powers?
he more or less does.
No,
He takes
he's used the
I'm
Infinity
really
Formula.
old. I take the Infinity Formula, and so like I'm like 108, and I have abs like nobody's business.
Yeah, and he
So-
probably has a healing factor
Yeah.
from the Infinity Formula
Exactly.
or something. So.
Or, you know, if you ever get shot, it's always a life model decoy.
Well, that's true.
that also.
Yeah, unless I become the Watcher in that horrible event where I killed the Watcher. Ooh. So through surgery, Jessica Drew gets her powers back.
Sure.
Whatever.
They surgically give her a venom blast.
And the ability to fly. So she takes the job. She gets.
Wait a minute.
What?
What are
Are
those?
those?
Those are big boobs.
No.
No, I don't know what.
I don't know what they are. They're
whatever.
Maybe they are. Maybe they replace her boobs. Maybe that's where her powers come from.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
from her-
modules that they insert.
Yeah.
This is insane.
So, it took a long time for her to, like, get back to full strength because it was, like, a horribly, like, invasive and,
But she has powers. Shouldn't her healing factor kick in?
eventually
Yeah,
they
but
do,
it was a lot of
recovery.
a lot of damage they
Yeah.
did. With the
And she
knife.
was like, and admittedly, Cap, like, the reason I did it all was because I wanted my powers back. Like, I wanted to be
Yeah.
special again. And, like, when I did, I got my powers back and then some. Like, I'm better. Like, my powers are even stronger than they were before. And so then she explains, like, I'm doing, like, I gave some information to Nick, I gave some information to Hydra, back and forth, blah, blah, blah. But then one day, you guys went and invaded Latveria, and Nick Fury went away, and the only person who had my cover story was gone. So now I am just a Hydra agent.
So it's like The Departed.
Yes, it's like The Departed, which I'm sure Bendis just saw. And Nick Fury's like, hey, sorry, I gotta go. Bye. Maybe forever? So she's like, yeah, so she's telling Cap, like, so like, now Hydra just is like, you work for us or we'll kill you, and there's no backup.
Right.
And she's like, and I can't tell you because, like, I was afraid of what you might do, or you wouldn't believe
you wouldn't
me.
believe me because no one can verify what I just told you.
Exactly. And Cap's like, where is Nick Fury? She's like, I don't know. I told you I wouldn't. I would tell you if I knew.
How great is it going to be when Cap one day is just like, Hail Hydra.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
My God.
He's like, of course we got your back.
Yeah. That'd be amazing if that was at any point a thing. But like Mike Murdock, Cap was also changed in reality thanks to intervention from cosmic forces.
Yep.
So Cap reveals that the new Avengers have been listening into the conversation the entire time.
Oh, and Wolverine's there.
Yeah, and Wolverine's just at the mansion because he's on the team now. And he's like, what do you guys think?
No, I was just watching the mansion while you guys were gone.
Right.
While you were in Tokyo.
More
I
like he was
figured I would
drinking their
crash.
beer. Yeah, he was just crashing. But yeah.
There's no Jarvis to kick me out.
That's true. He was in Japan. So they reveal their feelings about like Jessica's story because Cap is like, it's a democracy here. You're like, I'm not going to kick you out. The team will either keep you or not. And so the team all agrees and they verify, and then they're like, yeah, okay, we buy it. And
Plausible.
so yeah, and then Jessica gets a phone call and she answers it and she puts it on the table and Nick Fury's holographic head pops out of it and he's like, hey there, angels, it's Charlie here. Like, I am off the grid, but I have been monitoring the whole thing the whole time. You guys are doing a great job. She didn't know she was working for me. That even though I went off the grid, I was still like funneling information. I was
keeping tabs.
Yeah, I was manipulating shit from behind the scenes, from from the darkness.
From the dark web.
Yeah. And so they're just like, okay, thanks, Nick. Good to
don't
know.
like that.
He's like, so I'm going to work with you because S.H.I.E.L.D., fuck them. I'll work with you guys now
Right.
with my like,
They're all fucked up anyway.
with my underground sources because that's the thing is that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s rotten too.
Right.
The news is reporting on the Sentry Tower.
Oh no.
Like they were in Japan after all of the stuff with the Sentry. So like the tower appears and they're like, let's go to Japan. So they go to Japan. Meanwhile, the rest of the world's like, oh, what the fuck? So they're like, oh, crap.
Why is Aku from Samurai Jack attacking
Right,
and
exactly.
taking over this tower?
So they're like, all right, well, I guess we have to go address the nation. Like, we have to reveal that we're the Avengers now, because otherwise it's going to be really like hard to explain. So
Sure.
Then we get a little like interlude with Ms. Marvel,
Oh.
because in between this, House of M happened, and House of M's effect on Carol Danvers, who is now Captain Marvel, but back then was Ms. Marvel, who was like a off and on Avenger. She became the world's premier superhero, who's also not a mutant.
Right.
But she was like the Superman of the House of M universe.
Yeah.
And when she came back, she remembered House of M, and certain characters did not. Like, just a quick crash course on House of M and the fallout of it, because House of M, of course, was Wanda, no more mutants, everybody's, everything's whatever.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, like Captain America, all the Avengers get what they wanted in the House of M universe,
Right. That to keep them
to keep them
from
docile.
questioning reality. or
Yeah,
whatever.
and Cap apparently secretly wanted to just be old.
Right.
So when Layla Miller, the plot contrivance created by Bendis, who eventually become a character, and Wolverine like bothered people and like unlocked their memories, they like launched into battle to reset the universe, but Captain America was like a 98-year-old man. So they're like, we can't like unlock Cap's memories and have him fight in his 98-year-old non-super soldier body.
Right.
So there are certain characters who even are on the New Avengers who don't remember House of M after it came back, which includes Captain America. So Ms. Marvel remembers it, and she gets like a kick in the pants to like be better. And this will launch her Brian Reed Ms. Marvel series where she's like getting a publicist and trying to like make her life and her superhero persona better.
Right.
Okay.
So she has a blog and she writes, and she's like trying to have transparency about who she is. And
Right.
she fights Claw, and then she hears about like the Avengers announcement, which of course she was not invited to because she's not part of the New Avengers because it's old and busted.
Right.
But she will lead the Mighty Avengers later, which will also be written by Bendis. So she shows up at Avengers Tower, she goes, and everyone's like talking, they're all like planning for their big curtain moment, and she shows up, she's like, hey, and they're like, hey, you want to be on the Avengers? And she's like, I didn't come here to beg to be on the Avengers. I just came
you
here.
didn't have to beg. I just invited you.
Right, no, but like I know that you're inviting me because I'm here now. Like you didn't call me at all. Like when
It's okay, we didn't call Echo either. She's back.
No, yeah, that's true. Well, she's here now. Like
Yeah.
actually Cap
Well, she has
invited
lower
me.
standards than you.
That's true. So
She's happy to be invited only after showing up on our doorstep.
exactly.
Apparently,
So-
you're too good for that.
right? So she's like, hey, like, I'm just here to wish you guys luck because I loved these moments when like the Avengers would go before cameras and talk about them. Even though if you read the old stories where that happened, she hated them and nobody liked them. They were always uncomfortable and terrible. But yeah, so she is like, I need to talk to Cap alone. So she and Steve like have a conversation, and she has this whole like 17 paragraph monologue in which she describes to her readers on her blog that like Steve Rogers is everything you can imagine and more. Like he's just what you see is what you get when it came to Steve Rogers. So she's talking to him and she's like, I appreciate it, but like, listen, I'm trying to work on myself. I'm doing my thing. After the whole House of M thing, I need to reflect and focus on myself. So like,
Right. He's
and
like, what House of M thing?
well, and the way that Bendis wrote it is actually really fun because all the references to House of M have like a red slash through them when she's talking to people who don't remember it. So for him, he's just hearing like, and with the fallout being just so horrible for everyone, because like the fallout of House of M was the 198 and the fact that like there are no more mutants anymore and
Right.
it's all fucked up. But like Cap doesn't know why that happened, but Carol does, along with a few other members of the Avengers.
Okay.
So for her, she says, and with the House of M fallout being so horrible, but only he hears with the fallout being so horrible. So she's referring specifically to House of M, but he thinks she's referring just to the mutant situation.
Right. That
And I'm like-
happened for no reason.
Right, and I'm like, that's really clever writing.
Yeah.
That you can like omit a thing and it changes the entire meaning of the conversation. I really dig that.
Well, provided the conversation is still written well.
Which I think
And it is.
So
Yeah, but here it doesn't work because she says, but in the I got to live the life of a real hero. In
right.
the what? He
Yeah,
just
that's
hears
true.
nothing?
No. Yeah. Does he hear nothing? I assume.
He got distracted.
Yeah, but then the sentence doesn't make any sense anymore.
I'm
No,
sorry, what were you
that's
saying?
like-
I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Are you having a stroke?
Right?
Sounds like you're leaving words out of your sentences.
Well, she says, like, because of all the House of M stuff, I really got to live the life of a real superhero. And he goes, you are a real superhero. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like,
Right.
his confusion is very apparent on the page.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she's like, I mean, maybe one day I'll be an Avenger again, but, like, it can't be today. And he's like, that's fine.
That's fair. I think you're having a stroke. I'm going to call Jarvis.
Exactly. Like, yeah, no. And then Wolverine's like, I'm not going in front of them cameras. I'm going to drink milk straight from the carton. Fuck you all.
I'm
man."
not even on your stupid team.
Yeah.
Is it good for your bones?
Yeah, they're like, and I love
Thanks,
because
Wolverine.
yeah, unless your bones are laced with adamantium. So Iron Man's like, I feel like because of the whole mutant thing, like it'd be actually really cool if we had a mutant on the team, representation. He goes, I am a murderer. It would
I'm
not
gonna
look
stop
good.
murdering.
Right, like it would look bad for you if it's like our token mutant, the murderer with the 6 knives that plop out of his hands. So they all go. So they're all ready to go and they're all excited except for Spider-Man,
Uh-oh.
who's like, here's the part where having Spider-Man on your team makes your team look like shit because the premier newspaper publisher J. Jonah Jameson is gonna fuck you guys up because that's what he does.
Gonna tear you a new one.
And Cap's like, no, this is where we help you because our brand is stronger than your brand and it's gonna make you look better. And he's like, I beg to differ, Cap.
What?
Not according to JJ.
You're the fucking Avengers.
Yeah,
You're not
please.
helping shit.
Yeah, I'm helping you. So, they're like, well, you better put your mask on because he'll be here in 27 minutes. And Pete's like, who? And then J. Jonah Jameson and Robbie Robertson arrive. They were invited personally by the Avengers. They're like, hey. And so they explain to Jameson, like, he's like, what is this? And they're like, we're going to give you exclusive access to the Avengers, to all of our adventures, photographic access, everything. First for you.
Right.
Every time, if you knock off the Spider-Man stuff.
Huh. They bribe him.
Yes. And he's like,
I'll take that bribe.
well, Robbie goes, if you don't take this deal, I will quit.
Huh.
And J. Jonah Jameson is like, so he walks over to Spider-Man, who's like stuck to the wall, and he puts out his hand, and the two of them shake it. And the Avengers are like, yay. Like, we did it. We're fixing things.
And with one hand, Spider-Man shakes J. Jonah Jameson's hand. With the other hand, he pulls out a little razor and shaves off the mustache.
Hitler called, he wants it back. So
It's a bad look.
yeah, so Captain America comes out and he gives a big speech about how, we need new Avengers and this is a good book, you should read it. And here's everybody, I thought we'd never have an Avengers again, but by magic or accident or God or fate or whatever, like we formed this team, here they are, here's everybody. And it's this wonderful little moment of like the Avengers. I like Cap putting his arm around Spider-Man, like, come on, son. Like,
Yeah.
enjoy it.
And the Sentry's here too, yay!
Yeah, well, because it's his building. He needs to explain that shit. So Carol Danvers' blog explains in the whole narration of the book, she says, it was a great day, as good as it looked on TV. I'm glad I stayed, but I should have left before it gets ugly. And Iron Man immediately takes off his helmet, like throws it on the ground, because J. Jonah Jameson immediately went home and wrote an editorial in which the New Avengers are corrupt to the core, and they tried to bribe me. And let me explain to you who's on this team: a murdering assassin named Wolverine, a heroin dealer named Luke Cage. And they're like, "You dealt heroin?" He's like, "It was alleged. I didn't really do it. I was framed." And they're like, "A crazy person named the Sentry," and of course it wouldn't be for naught if it weren't for that wall crawling menace. And Spider-Man's like, "That's me."
Told you.
So wait, does Robbie quit?
No. He's just all talk, apparently, according to Bendis. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I know. I was like, what? That doesn't reflect. The thing is, Straczynski's writing Spider-Man at this time, and he would be fucked to use any of the Daily Bugle characters.
Right.
So, like, you'll never see. Like, we don't know what... This is the first time we're seeing Robbie and JJ interact with Spider-Man at all in Spider-Man since Straczynski took over.
Huh. Okay.
But
Because that's not what Spider-Man is, apparently, according to Straczynski.
creator of Babylon 5, that's right. No, apparently Spider-Man's all about teaching and fighting energy vampires. I like that run a lot, but yeah. So Jessica's like, well, that was a fun day. I'm going to get drunk. And Wolverine's like, I'll come with you. And she's like, no, I'll drink you under the table some other time. So she goes to the bar and she meets with her Hydra contact. And he's like, well, you got anything for me? And she's like, Nick Fury's back. He's resurfaced. And he goes, well, you've earned your life for another day. Congratulations. So it's like, this douchey ponytail guy that, like, I never learned the name of, and I don't even remember if he dies or not. I'm sure he does. He's written so well as just a prick. Like, it's so condescending, and he's so frustrating. Just like, oh, fuck this guy. Like, I want Wolverine to just jab him with fucking claws. But
Hey, I showed up anyway.
right, and it's like, oh, actually, like, she's the queen of the Skrulls, and
Right. So don't feel bad.
no, because she's
not
faking
actually in
the
any
whole thing.
danger, yeah.
Well, it's one shitty organization screwing over another shitty organization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. And it's like, I actually like it because in Secret Invasion, they have to retcon House of M itself. So, like, in House of M, Jessica Drew is on, I think she's like leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. And like, but it's Ferengi, and she's like, ah! This is all wrong. And I'm like, you did not plan for this.
This is too fucking messy.
Yeah. So, the Secrets and Lies is just setting up, like, the kind of fun ongoing drama you're gonna encounter. Like, yeah, the public opinion is pretty good for the Avengers, but like, there are gonna be some dissension. S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't like them, but they can't trust S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
But Nick Fury's around, but he's persona non grata. Plus, what's going on with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra and the Hand and everybody? Like, what's all that about?
So this entire book was set up to introduce Ronan, kind of with a hand wavy sort of
here's
fashion.
Ronan.
And also to be like, oh, Jessica Drew's working for Hydra.
Yeah, that's the book. That's the two things we get out of it.
Silver Samurai had no
Nothing to do
impact.
with
Very
it.
little.
None whatsoever. He is in the book, and he gets a double-page splash of him being Silver Samurai. He doesn't fight anybody, unsheath a sword. He does nothing. He's just in the book. At least not on the cover.
So, and Miss Marvel also seems to have very little impact.
Yeah, no,
shows
because
up.
she's not a member of the New Avengers. It's just
Remember
that, like,
when she was on the Avengers?
right, like, it's just it's showing you, like, the old guard kind of, like, reflecting and kind of commentating on the new period.
Yeah.
Now, after Civil War, which Carol will be on the pro-registration side of,
Right.
they like Iron Man and she will establish the Avengers, and the new Avengers will become like an underground organization that operates out of the Sanctum. So like, she'll be the leader of the Avengers, which we'll call the Mighty Avengers, and that'll be a whole different book.
See, this is a kind of book I would not want to read. It's boring.
I like
convoluted.
it.
It's
See, I think it's fun
It's like
because
a middle chapter.
yeah, it is very much. No, but it's a lot of setup, and you get the impression that it is going somewhere, and it is. And that's the other thing, is that like,
Right.
thanks to the benefit of hindsight, it does go in a direction, and everything gets paid off eventually.
Yeah, this is if you are buying issues weekly or monthly.
That's right.
Yes, you get payoff.
yeah.
You're like, oh,
No,
fantastic.
this is
I
month-
remember this part of the
This
run.
is straight up monthly comics. Now, if you want to read this as a volume, you have to read volume 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, you got to read it in succession. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to read this alone.
Yeah, this doesn't work standalone.
No. This is straight up like representative of monthly comics. Like, this is what it's like to read of the Avengers on a week-to-week, month-to-month basis, which was very exciting. And especially when it was one issue at a time, you're like, oh man, the next one. Then like each one fed into the last one. You know, it really did work, and we are sorely bereft of that now. Like, the Avengers now is so we're thankfully out of the age when everything was the Avengers, like the U.S. Avengers and the we got the Savage Avengers, but that's a decent book, and it's so different. It shouldn't even be called Savage Avengers.
Oh, you get the Great Lakes Avengers.
Great Lakes Avengers was already
There you
before
go.
that, though, and they suck too, obviously, but they're built to suck. But like, we don't have like a street level team. We don't have a group of heroes that are recognizable, marketable, and fun to see interact. And that's the main price of admission. There is an ongoing narrative that is at the fore about the event. Like, the New Avengers is about the Marvel Universe being rotten and someone's to blame. And who is it? And Civil War, which was not Bendis's, completely derails the book. But Bendis is a good writer at this time and manages to like work around it. Like, he incorporates it and he finds a way around it. Like, because there's the whole registration thing, and then all these heroes are like on the run, and like, you know,
Right.
these characters that you want to see interact, like Spider-Man and Iron Man and Captain America, like they're on different sides of the, and then Cap's dead for a while. So there's a lot going on, and the interactions are the reason to check it out, but also like the narrative is so juicy that like you want to know what comes next. And we are bereft of that now, and we desperately need it again. And I think the way to do it is to bring back the New Avengers. Hickman brought back New Avengers, but it was entirely in service to his Secret Wars agenda. Like, it was entirely part of the Infinity Saga that he was developing, and it had nothing to do with the conceit of the title, which is part of the reason why I was like really disappointed by it. It's a good book, but it's not this. Like, New Avengers implies New Avengers. Like, the team is new, but fresh and popular. And it is about, like, watching characters that you can relate to, dealing with maybe a larger than life, or maybe larger than you can see. Like, you need to be at a higher vantage point to see the whole picture.
Right. There's an overarching
Conspiracy
behind the scenes conspiracy or thing
Yes, that-
happening.
It has to weave itself over like a
that
long period
keeps
of time.
coming up.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
get little bits of it here and
each
there.
time it does come up, something new happens, or some like new revelation takes place, so that you feel like you're being like rewarded
Yeah.
for your investment.
That's hard to do.
It is hard to do, and it's a tall order for your writers. It's why you don't like request it.
Right.
It's when someone has a good idea and they pitch it.
Yeah.
And
You say, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
You literally need like a Bendis for that.
You need a Bendis. You need, but
Most
like
people aren't Bendis.
there are a lot of good writers in the bullpen at Marvel and DC. Like, there are good writers out there who are doing good things now.
Yeah, but is there anyone with like that kind of
Foresight
ambition and like
ambition.
drive and willpower?
I would
to, like,
argue Bendis doesn't even
gut
have that
through
anymore.
all of that, because it's not just like having the idea; it's then you got to execute it
Oh yeah.
day after day,
And get interrupted
Title
by
after
like
title.
other things that they're saying
Yeah.
that have to
Yeah.
get pushed.
and you
yeah.
got to have one of those crazy boards with all the string
Of course, yeah.
to keep it all straight.
Yeah, but the
Plus,
other
all the fans will be like, you imply here that she was a Skrull the whole time, but if you go back and read the book,
Yeah, it doesn't
clearly
really
it's written
match
that
up.
she wasn't a Skrull.
Yeah.
It was implied it
I
was
think
going to
there's
be
a way
different.
around it, and actually it comes from Jonathan Hickman. Hickman has a great piece of advice for aspiring writers in the Big Two, and it's delete your social media. Like, it is straight up.
Yes.
You have to, when you are writing comics, you have to live in a vacuum. You cannot engage in social media. The problem is, in today's reality, like, you're not a staff writer at Marvel that'll be there for 40 years. You are a brand, and you must do the things that society requires for that brand to remain relevant. Now, you could be like a good or great writer at the big two, and you've ingratiated yourself into the management, and you write this stellar piece of work, and the other part of it is that then you parlay the audience that you've built that are interested in your brand, your name, and you take them with you to independent comics, where you then create your own thing that you own, that you then of course parlay into a TV series or movie. But that is not going to be forever, and it doesn't always guarantee, and ambition is rewarded. Ambition is rewarded for good or ill. It's either rewarded in terms of you get to pay it off in 100 issues, or you don't get to pay it off. But it's in this world of modern big two comics, you have to take big swings and you have to invest yourself into your story. And it's that's what New Avengers is. And New Avengers is, it took Avengers from a serial, weekly, here's what the thing is, they fight the old character that you remember from 100 years ago, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, and honestly, going back and looking at the Avengers from the 90s at least, there's a lot of character interaction, but it's mostly just ratcheted to 11 angst. It's never fun melodrama, it's never juicy, if it is, it's soap opera, superficial kind of shit. Yeah. I'm in love with Vision, but his brainwaves are derived from Wonder Man, so am I in love with Wonder Man?
Isn't that crazy?
Who am I in love with, robot or flesh? And it's he's not flesh, he's a fucking energy being. But but you're not gonna
make sense,
right? But it's unrelatable. But if you make them relatable, once Vision is on the cover of this series, the series was dead to me. Because I was okay, it's not this anymore. It's about the androids. It's about
weird and boring.
Weird and unrelatable.
I've seen this. It's just Data.
Right. And Data can be relatable, but it takes a while. And if you are invested in Data, you're gonna have to take, those Brent Spiner episodes where he's playing 4 characters, which is an indulgence.
I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna talk like this. See?
Thanks. Great. You and Marina Sirtis are the squeakiest wheels in the fucking casting call. But I will say, Vision does eventually get interesting and relatable, but only in the Tom King series or on the show.
Yeah.
And the movies. The movies do something interesting with it, but in the comics, I don't find Vision terribly engaging or interesting. And he's emblematic of a problem that is or he's emblematic of the Avengers and whether that is a problem or not. Which is we have this living robot. And
Isn't that cool?
Isn't that cool? And sometimes it's funny, when the Kree get involved and they're look at the robot want to love a woman, and you're oh, that's pretty rough.
It's also the very surface level way to deal with the fact that you have a robot.
Right. No, I want to see
mentioning that he's a robot, and isn't that weird?
Yeah, no. I want to see Vision try and deal with how he pays his taxes. Does he pay taxes? How does that work? And it's it doesn't have to be that we spend 6 pages watching him do his taxes or try to talk to the IRS on the phone, which is a fucking nightmare. But him interacting with a character that he doesn't normally interact with, or a character that would be fun to see him interact with, and they talk about the IRS, that suddenly grounds the character and makes them relatable and makes me fucking want to read about it. Maybe I'm in love.
No, I want to read about the IRS. I find that interesting.
No, I don't, but I do understand that regular people's
I'm getting mixed signals here from you.
No, you're not.
No, it's the whole idea
that deliberately obtuse, and I understand why.
They have regular problems too.
They have regular problems.
Right,
they make them relatable.
Problems.
They're not gods.
So if you were an Avengers fan, you must fucking hate the new Avengers.
There's no way they don't. I promise you that they. Yeah.
What is all this fucking conspiracy fucking bullshit?
Yeah. Well, when they were
and who are all these fucking people?
Right. It's how dare you? Because they had the same conspiracy bullshit, but in space. How could you complain about a conspiracy between the Hand and the Yakuza and Hydra, but you don't complain when it's a conspiracy between the Kree and the Skrulls and the Shi'ar?
Because those are people who like Flash Gordon.
Right. Well, and they like the Avengers, and it's look, they gave I'm sure when they were the writing was on the wall though when it came to the Avengers Disassembled. Yeah. They were oh no, not like this. It's fair.
Yeah, but that's why at the end of the book it feels satisfying, where everyone's screw this. I'm
Yeah,
out.
fuck this. But it's like, no, if you're a big... That'd be like if I was reading Spider-Man, at the end of it, he was like, being Spider-Man sucks. I'm not gonna be Spider-Man anymore. He just threw his web shooters in the garbage. I'd be like, what are you doing? And then the book kept going. You know, like, what the fuck is this gonna be about?
Yeah, but if they pay it off well, then you're just like, okay, that threw me.
Right. But
But it has to pay off well.
And the problem is it also requires like your audience to stick with it. Now, the irony, of course, being that most of the people, and this is why you need to delete social media, is because the majority of the audience is probably buying the book anyway. Like you have two vocal
Majorities,
factions.
yeah.
You've got the audience that yells at you but isn't buying the book, and you have the audience that yells at you but will buy the book no matter what happens in it. And those are the audiences that you have to like worry about. And and what you must learn is that you don't have to worry about either of those audiences. Like, so yeah, basically I'm just saying bring back New Avengers, but like do it right. Like do it for real. You know, don't give us that horrible Defenders book that Bendis tried to do. Because the Defenders were de facto the New Avengers, but there was a show called The Defenders, and so they were trying to capitalize on that, and so they put out that Defenders book that Bendis also wrote, like shortly before he left.
Right.
You know, you got to own it because New Avengers is like a sexy title. Like that should be the name of the next Avengers movie. You know, like
That's a
it's
good
that
idea.
big.
That is a good
Yeah,
idea.
but is it gonna reflect this new Avengers?
Fuck no. Doesn't it already? I mean, like Spider-Man was on the Avengers practically in those other movies, or at least in the last two.
Hey, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Why is the art on these pages like not good
That's
compared to previous art in this
Well,
book?
because David Finch drew
this.
the earlier art, and then Frank Cho drew the rest of the book, and the Frank Cho art.
This is the same image.
Yes. Well,
This
you
is
know,
the same image.
Well, they're just saying the same shit. You know, I just gotta save some time.
Yeah, I don't need to redraw this.
No, why would I redraw that? He's in the same position. I'll just read. It's a way to save time. These books
well,
have to come out.
Yeah.
But you will notice, however, that any of the women on the pages look pretty good.
Yes.
So that's where Cho's priorities are.
Right. I see.
They may be a little more voluptuous than they normally
yeah.
are.
Every chick has huge boobs, even like random
And
background.
pretty
chick.
wide hips too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank Cho has let's say a style.
Or a type.
Or a problem.
New Avengers. I love the series until I don't, which is the
How many more volumes until you don't? We're on 3.
No, you know what? I like it. I like it until it ends.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
no, that's
All
a good.
right.
It's a good series. There are a couple of dips and dives, but even when it's like low, there's still some fun interactions. And it's like, you know, I glossed over a lot of like the character stuff, but like that's the reason to buy the book. Like,
Right.
is to really get like the interactions.
We just
and
hit the
character
main
stuff.
plot points.
Exactly, which is 1 or 2
Yeah.
because you know,
There's
Yeah,
not
and
a
this
lot.
one, it's not much.
it's a Bendis book. You know, there's not going to be a lot of plot. It's mostly character stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I still make it available in the comments down below if you want to pick up a copy because I still like it. But again, you know, for reading purposes, you may not want to start with this, and you may want to just keep going after
In
it.
the middle stuff. Yeah.
I thought the person on the cover was going to be the villain.
Yeah,
not Ronan.
Yeah,
Not
'cause
just
Ronan.
Ronan.
Looks super sinister, but
Yeah,
nope.
it's just a cool cover. But yeah, the next one is an actual like full-blown Avengers like event or story that has direct fallout from House of M. If you want it, we'll do it.
There's action. There's consequences.
Yes.
Cool.
They're immediately thrown away, but yes. Like it's ridiculous. Like you could see the like conflict between everybody else and Bendis, where he's like, I'm gonna kill off this whole team. And then someone's like, no, you're not. It's like, well, it's already on the page. It's like, well, they didn't die. But he says they did. Well, they didn't. Okay, what do I care? That's you.
In my head, they died.
Right.
And they're fucking
And
dead,
on
and
that-
I'm never gonna use them.
That's
Because
right.
in my world,
Okay,
they're dead.
Bendis.
Yeah.
But they ain't.
Right, exactly. Well, you're not in charge. And that's like a constant, like you could see that's a conflict. And the editor is just like, we're just happy it's selling, it's just selling good.
Yeah, whatever,
I can imagine
it's
them calling,
fine.
hey, you know, he killed my entire, I'm writing a book about these guys, and he killed everybody.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
who killed them?
Just say they're not dead.
Bendis.
Then they're dead.
If only.
Right, well, the book's still selling. Fine, you know, just ignore him.
Yeah.
That's what he does to you.
Pretend it didn't happen. Yeah.
You're going to let him get under your skin?
Yeah, what are you doing? Just, he does what he wants. Just
Make
let
it
him-
anyway.
Yeah, just
But
do
you're
it.
not doing anything. I'm an editor. I don't do anything.
I work at Marvel and I'm an editor. I am literally not a person. I'm just spell check on the computer.
And even then, I get it wrong.
You're not talking to
Oh,
anybody.
chatbot.
This is.
I'm a paperclip on a computer screen. What do you want from me?
Damn it! I'm just screaming at my monitor again. See you next week. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Sal.
Oh, wait then.
I'm Ben.
So long.
Hey, I see you're trying to edit a comic book. Would you like some help?
Yeah. Well, fuck you.
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself. Because we can't afford editors.